Hey guys, and welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, I'm Jess.
And I'm Adrian.
Today we are going to go see, guess what?
The Museum of Anthropology.
One of the most amazing museums in all of Latin America. So I'm excited.
Me too. And it's located here at the Chapultepec Park.
As you can tell behind us.
So we're going to make our way over to the museum and get our museum on.
Let's go, guys. Bought our tickets at the ticket booth. We spent about $10. I've seen this museum once before and it just blew my mind. I knew I had to bring Adrian. It took me more than a decade, but he is finally here.
I had to quit my job, leave everything behind, sell everything, rent my property out, just so she could bring me to a museum.
But you know what? It's all worth it. And I have many other countries that I'm going to do this with him. So you better hang on and buckle up for the ride. Finally, we're skipping all the other ones and we're starting here at number 6. And this is called Mexica. And I am about to show you why. Let's go. So, the reason why this room is called the Mexica and it has some of the most important pieces here in the National Museum of Anthropology is because the Mexica people were actually the ones that founded Tenochtitlan, otherwise known as Mexico City in modern days. Hey guys, so we find ourselves here right in the middle of the Mexica room, and this right here is the stone of the sun, and this represents the Mexica people. So this is exactly why I brought Adrian to this specific point in the museum, because it's so important, especially when you're discovering Mexico City, to know its beginnings. Guys, one of the most important contributions that Mexico has gifted to the world is maize. And as such, it was interlaced with religion in prehispanic times. In a lot of the sculptures, you're going to be able to see that. How amazing is that? Guys, right behind me is one of the most important items within this exposition in the Room of Mexica. This right here is called as the penacho, or the headgear. It's just a replica, guys. And it's a very sad story as the reason why Mexico only has the replica. Currently, Vienna has the original one. It was taken by one of the conquistadors and sold over there. Or so the rumors go. Nobody really knows how it ended up over there. However, Vienna refuses to give it back to Mexico despite multiple requests to bring it back home. So unfortunately, we only get to see the replica here. And guys, in this side of the exhibition, you're gonna see all about the Mexica's neighbors. They weren't the only ones that were inhabiting the place. They had neighbors all around them in what is now Cuernavaca and other cities around. So here you can see some about the sculptures around them. CDMX exhibit, we thought, why not? Let's take a little break outside in the little gardens. Now, isn't this beautiful? Now that we are done with our trip back in time to the Mexica's starting point and Tenochtitlan, we're going to move on to the next exhibition that's important for us today, and that is going to be Teotihuacan. So let's go. Hey guys, we've made it to the Teotihuacan exhibition. So let's go look at it. We are now in the room for Teotihuacan. Teotihuacan actually came about in the 1st century, so this goes way back, and this is an incredible civilization that took place for a very long time, and it collapsed around the 750 AD, and it was more than likely caused by internal problems. However, Teotihuacan continued to be a very important part of culture, and right here behind me is actually so important, guys. We all know about the pyramids, the Teotihuacan pyramids. Every tourist goes over there. However, this right here that you see, it's called Complejo de Muerte, or the Death Complex, and this was actually found through an archaeology expedition done at the Pyramid of the Sun. And this is what they found, and it has to do with death and sacrifice. So guys, what we're giving you here is the view of what the Pyramid of the Feather Serpent looked like. It was actually one of the most important religious places for them, and it often included sacrifices, and the bodies were lined up according to their beliefs. So yes, the myths are true. There were in fact sacrifices. Across from the feather serpent, we're going to see a mural. This mural right here depicts Tlaloc, which is the god and master of the clouds and the sky. So let's go see this exhibition. We have Tlaloc's consort goddess, and her name was Chalchihuitlicue, and she was known for being the goddess of the rivers, or any body of water that was horizontal and that touched the earth. Therefore, she was also associated with agriculture and fertility within the agriculture camp. In this room, right across from the goddess of the rivers, we're actually going to have an exhibition associated with the precursor to the god Tlaloc. We don't know the name of this god, however, we do know that his powers resembled very closely to those of Tlaloc's. And in this room, we study everything about him. One of the most important facts about Teotihuacan is that it collapsed in the year 750 AD, as I mentioned earlier. However, it still continued to be a powerhouse despite its collapse, as I was telling Adrian not too long ago. And archaeologists found that it continued to be reoccupied. The thing about it, and this is how the Teotihuacan city meshes with Tenochtitlan, in that the Mexica actually, based on the pyramids and everything they saw in Teotihuacan, they actually started to worship it, just like many other groups of people that moved in continue to do so. And even to modern day, Teotihuacan continues to be a powerhouse. Just look at it in the tourist aspect of it. It's a masterpiece. This concludes our tour through the Teotihuacan Exhibition here. So let's move on to something else. Hey guys, so we made it to the Mayans and we have about 45 minutes left. What's interesting about the Mayan society and the Mayan cities is that they were actually kind of like sister cities with Teotihuacan. So rather than fighting against each other or trying to be better than the other, they actually worked together. So they kind of wanted to reciprocate with each other. So that kind of, spiked my interest and why I wanted to come see it. Panels. So essentially these are the panels that were built by the ancient inhabitants of the town of Palenque, and they were done to honor their patron gods, and they were done in something that was highly available and very popular around the time, and it's limestone. As you see, you can't get close to it, but they are really intricate and really nice to look at. We're going to see a very important and very personal sculpture here. Take a look. This right here was actually rescued and recovered by a French traveler in the 18th century. What a magnificent find. This right here was used for a ball game. They will use a huge ball, and I should know, they used a huge ball, and the whole concept was to get it to go through the ring. This game, make no mistake, was deadly. So I have seen the real thing, but this one I have to say it's a pretty good replica, and it does kind of give you an insight as to how the real thing looks, so I like it. What do you think?
Yeah. It's not as big.
Yes, it's not as big, but I think for being inside a museum, it's pretty close to how it should look. Minus the size. Wow, what an adventure it has been today.
Yeah.
I say that, I'm very harsh on museums sometimes, and I tend to be really picky with them because I've seen so many, and I have to say this museum blows me away time after time.
It's my first time here and I really enjoyed it. I was telling Jessica earlier that I think if you're gonna come to Mexico, especially spend some time in Mexico City, it is well worth coming here to just kind of absorb and get a lot of the history of Mexico just in general, and how the pre-Hispanic populations actually got started and lived here.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with you, and a lot of people go directly to the pyramids before they come to this museum, and so I would highly recommend that you come check out the museum and you come check out the most important wings, to me at least, which kind of explain to you a little bit of what Mexico City is all about, what the pyramids entail. So whenever you go to Teotihuacan, if you happen to not go with a guide, you know what you're looking at, the Pyramid of the Sun, the Pyramid of the Moon. You know how many layers are actually beneath those pyramids.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, overall, guys, this is a must. I have had the time of my life today, even though that it was short-lived. The time of my life for today.
Yeah.
So, and we have a beautiful view in front of us. It's another replica. How do you think this compares to the real one?
Well, we've been to the real one in Chichen Itza in the Yucatan Peninsula to see the Mayan ruins. But hey, these are pretty close. You know, like if you can't make it all the way over there, I highly recommend coming over here and looking at these.
Absolutely, and it brings back good memory. Loved every wing of this.
Yeah. So let's close out for the museum right now.
Yeah.
And we're gonna head out of here to see what we're gonna do the rest of the day.
Yeah, I like that, and I think we're definitely coming back because 3 wings and at the pace that we go. Because some people go through the entire museum within 4 hours, and I don't think we could do that.
I don't think you could do this whole museum in one day. Actually, it'd be hard pressed. So.
It'd be hard. You'll be moving really fast, so fast.
Yeah.
So like, I would just put down my favorite wings or my favorite exhibitions down there under the description. So if you're looking to come but you don't want to be overwhelmed, I'll just give you some tips as to which exhibitions you should look when you're inside the museum and which open spaces. Recognize that not everybody can just go through historical things and keep going. You know, I like that there's this open spaces that are also historical and that you can just take a break.
Yeah.
So this is definitely one of my favorite museums. Thank you for coming with me.
Yeah. So here's those elotes. I got one this time. So, oh look, you can cover her up with the elote. That's how big it is. Cheers, my love.
Elote cheers.
Elote cheers.
Continue on our search for coffee.
Coffee.